It is officially the 2017 NFL Draft. What an outstanding draft class this is. It is pretty crazy. I told you guys I would do this. Here is my mock draft. I'm making this 2 days before the draft. So things might change in these 2 days. And don't yell at me if something's completely wrong. But I know today that a couple people, not a couple people, but somebody, I'm not gonna say any names, but was accused of something and probably knocked him out of the first round, so it totally changed up my draft. Had to fix it, and here is my draft for the 2017 NFL Draft. Here's my mock draft, I should say. So number 1 overall goes to the why do I say it like that? Cleveland Browns. I think we all know who this is, but no, I'm just kidding. It's Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett definitely is definitely is the number 1 overall pick, but there is a but, actually. The Cleveland Browns are talking about taking Mitch Trubisky as the number 1 overall pick, which I don't think they should do. I think they should just take Myles Garrett. They've had plenty of bad luck in the past drafting quarterbacks, especially in the first round. Plenty of bad luck. Yeah, just take Myles Garrett, Browns. It'll be so much easier on you. Just take Myles Garrett. Go the safe route. Take Myles Garrett. That's who I think is going to be the number 1 overall pick. At number 2, we have the San Francisco 49ers. Now, they need a quarterback bad. Real bad. But I don't think they're going to take it in the first round. I have them taking Solomon Thomas, defensive end. They have a big problem with the defensive line. They need some playmakers there, and I think Solomon Thomas could definitely help that out. They are talking about taking Mitch Trubisky, but I think that's the only reason they're trying to say that. I can't talk today. The only reason why they're trying to say they're taking Mitch Trubisky is so the Browns take him number 1, and they can take Myles Garrett, which is a genius plan. If they say they're going to take Myles Garrett, or if they say they're going to take Mitch Trubisky in the first round with the 2nd overall pick, the Browns will be like, oh no, we might not get Mitch Trubisky. So they're going to take Mitch Trubisky number 1 overall, and San Francisco will have Myles Garrett all to themselves. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think Browns are going to be smart and take Myles Garrett. So as a backup plan, the 49ers select Solomon Thomas. The Chicago Bears also have a giant quarterback spot, and this is where my first quarterback of the draft comes in. Deshaun Watson from Clemson. Oh my God, what a beast he is. He is not like one of the best quarterbacks I've seen coming out of college, but I'd say he's probably number 1 on my boards for quarterback. Definitely has a lot of talent, and Bears love him. Bears love Deshaun Watson. They really want to draft him. They were even thinking about trading up to the number 1 or number 2 spot to get Deshaun Watson. Probably number 2 spot to get Deshaun Watson, and I think they're good. I don't think 49ers would take Watson. They could, though. You never know. So maybe they will trade up to the number 2 spot to get Watson. And I think it would be pretty cool to see Deshaun Watson as a Chicago Bear. The Jacksonville Jaguars hold the 4th overall pick. Last year, the 4th overall pick was Ezekiel Elliott, running back. This year, I think it's going to be Leonard Fournette, running back. The Jaguars have fallen in love with a running back. His name is Leonard Fournette. He is a beast. There are some off-field issues that people talk about, but it's really small. So they're just not going to worry about it. They're going to draft Leonard Fournette, number 4th overall. And I think this pick is up pretty obvious. It's either Leonard Fournette or O.J. Howard. That's my opinion, who they're going to draft. It could be O.J. Howard. You never know, but they really like Leonard Fournette, and I don't think they'll pass on him. So I'm going to say the Jacksonville Jaguars take Leonard Fournette, 4th overall. Tennessee Titans. There is problems on this team, offense and defense. If they just fix those problems, they are a playoff team. Mainly cornerback. I was going to say quarterback. Mainly cornerback is their problem. Defense is where they got to step up. Also, they need a receiver. So they can go 2 ways here. They could draft Mike Williams or Corey Davis here at number 5 overall, or they could take Marshawn Lattimore, who is probably the best player on the board still. And they need that I keep saying quarterback. Cornerback. They need that cornerback. So I'm going to say they do take that cornerback. It is going to be Marshawn Lattimore for the Tennessee Titans here at number 5 overall. They're going to hope to get a receiver later on. We'll see if they do in my mock draft. But yeah, Marshawn Lattimore at number 5. New York Jets have a lot of problems. Too many problems. They just lost Brandon Marshall. They have no quarterback. They have terrible defense now that no, they have no cornerbacks now. No quarterback, cornerbacks, and no receivers. And they have just a big problem. But the Jets have terrible luck in the draft. They're just really stupid in the draft. They've always been kind of stupid. No offense if you're a Jets fan, but they've never had the brains in the draft. And I kind of gave them a little bit of a weird pick here. I did not give them a quarterback, which they need, and most people don't think they're going to get a quarterback. I gave them tight end O.J. Howard. Only because, why not? They need somebody to throw the ball to. They really don't have anybody. They have people, obviously, but, I mean, they need a playmaker, and O.J. Howard definitely seems like he's a playmaker. I compared him to Rob Gronkowski, who I think is a great comparison. O.J. Howard, definitely one of the better tight ends we've seen in years. So, yeah, that's my opinion. I'm going to say Jets take O.J. Howard. Chargers have a couple problems they need to solve. One of them is a safety. Jamal Adams is still on the board. Jamal Adams is probably the best player left on the board. So the Chargers will take Jamal Adams. They definitely need a safety to help him up there in the defensive backfield. So they'll take Jamal Adams. The Carolina Panthers had one of the worst offensive lines last season. They really need to protect Cam Newton. Oh my God, he is getting beat up left and right. They take an offensive lineman, the first of the draft. The Carolina Panthers select Garrett Bowles, offensive tackle. Pretty good pick. Probably one of the best offensive linemen in this draft. Although there is some pretty bad offensive linemen. There's not a great offensive class this year. But Garrett Bowles, definitely one of the best. A couple days ago, I had the Cincinnati Bengals selecting Reuben Foster in 9th overall. But he's had some problems off-field. A lot of off-field problems. This guy has been all over the field with off-field problems. All over the field? That makes no sense. I'm an idiot. So I do not have them selecting Reuben Foster anymore. I believe they lose hope in him. So they select their second most needed type of player. Ryan Ramczyk, offensive tackle. They need another offensive lineman. Although Garrett Bowles was just selected right before him, they still have opportunity with Ryan Ramczyk. They just lost two key offensive linemen this year over free agency. They need an offensive lineman bad. It was already bad last year. Then they lost two of their best. Now they definitely need an offensive lineman. Although defense, linebackers were kind of a problem, I think they will think offensive line will be an even bigger problem. If they have nobody to protect Andy Dalton, they will definitely select Ryan Ramczyk. The Buffalo Bills select Mike Williams, 10th overall. They need a quarterback, but they're going to be smart about it, I believe. And they will wait till next year or when there's a better quarterback draft class. Whatever it is, they'll get their quarterback another time, but not in the first round. I'm going to say they select Mike Williams. The Saints need defensive help big time. Big time. Derek Barnett is still on the boards. Saints snatch up Derek Barnett. They're like, Derek Barnett, you are signing with us. You are going to be a New Orleans Saint. Derek Barnett joins the Saints. Well, would you looky here? The Cleveland Browns wanted to draft Mitch Trubisky #1 overall, but guess what? With their 12th pick, he's still on the board. Cleveland Browns select Mitch Trubisky, quarterback. Cardinals need quarterback help. They need a little bit of offensive help, a little bit of defensive help. They're kind of all over. One of those teams is still all over. They're not going to draft a quarterback in this draft class. I don't see them drafting anybody big. Maybe in the second or third round they'll draft Kaya or Dobbs or Peterman, any of those guys. I don't see them drafting them in the first round. I have them drafting wide receiver Corey Davis. Corey Davis definitely, I would say, is my favorite receiver. I really don't have a reason. If you just watch his highlight, that'll say enough. His highlights are just unbelievable. Same with Mike Williams, but I could see Corey Davis going to the Arizona Cardinals. My goodness, guess who is still on the board? Malik Hooker, safety. Oh my God, Philadelphia Eagles will get a steal here when they draft Malik Hooker, if they draft him. This is my mock draft. This is not what happened. Oh my God, Malik Hooker is still on the board. That is surprising at number 14. Philadelphia Eagles snatch up Malik Hooker quicker than anything ever. Oh my God, Malik Hooker will be a Philadelphia Eagle. Now, in my opinion, Reuben Foster is not a first rounder anymore. But some people like to take the risk. I'm going to say the Indianapolis Colts take the risk and select Reuben Foster. Okay, so the Baltimore Ravens need a wide receiver, but the two best ones are off the board, and I don't see him drafting John Ross, mainly because he's a more of a speed receiver, and they have plenty of speed on their team already. Also because he has a lot of injury problems. I don't know. I can't really see the Ravens drafting John Ross. If they do, this will be the pick. But otherwise, I have him drafting Hasten Riddick, linebacker, and it's a good fit for the Ravens. What did you just say? Jonathan Allen is still on the boards? Oh my god. Washington Redskins take Jonathan Allen, who is probably the #2 best player in this draft. He kind of slid because a lot of people think he's not gonna play very well because of an injury. It's not really like how he's gonna play, but he's not gonna last very long in the NFL because he does have, what is it, arthritis, I think? And he might not last too long in the NFL. That's why people kind of don't want to draft him, but he is a playmaker. If you watch him play, he is crazy. Washington Redskins select Jonathan Allen. Tennessee Titans need a wide receiver. They select John Ross, and he has a lot of injury problems, but I could see him definitely going to this team and being a good fit. I can't see him sliding out of the first round, so Tennessee Titans select John Ross. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers need some defensive line help. They select Taco Charlton, defensive end. He is a beast, and his name is Taco. That's pretty cool. The Denver Broncos also had one of the worst offensive line last year. Offensive line last year. But in this draft, in the first round, they select Forrest Lamp, and I feel like it'd be a good fit for the Denver Broncos. The Lions need defensive line help, and they have fallen in love with Takk McKinley. Takk McKinley, definitely one of the bigger playmakers on this draft board. And the Lions select Takkarist McKinley. Cornerback is one of the most needed positions in the NFL. Corners are so important. There aren't many corners in this draft. Not in the first round. Second round is going to be a load of corners taken because there's some like flaws and mistakes. A lot of corners got to work on. But the first round corners, Marlon Humphrey. Dolphins take Marlon Humphrey in the first round at 22. The New York Giants need a offensive lineman. They need some more offensive linemen, more playmakers. Not really playmakers. I guess more guardians of Eli Manning. Although Eli Manning does not get hurt, they need somebody to protect him, prevent those sacks. Cam Robinson goes to the New York Giants. The Oakland Raiders need defensive help. The offense is on fire. I could see him drafting maybe another wide receiver. I don't really know. Probably not, actually. They need maybe later on in the draft they'll draft a wide receiver. But I have him drafting Charles Harris, defensive end. The Texans love Patrick Mahomes. I'm pretty sure you guys all heard this story. I see Patrick Mahomes falling to them at 25 overall. And yeah, Patrick Mahomes will be a Houston Texan, but maybe not a starter year one. Maybe not. We'll see what happens. Although they have no other option at quarterback, so maybe he will. Seattle Seahawks are looking for that cornerback that they need. They have Richard Sherman, but they're still looking for another guy. They're going to select Quincy Wilson here at 26 overall. The Kansas City Chiefs select Raekwon McMillan. They have fallen in love with Raekwon McMillan, and I'm pretty sure they'll draft him unless they'll draft DeShone Kizer or somebody like that. I could totally see him taking Kizer here, but or Mahomes if he's not taken off the board, but we will see. The Dallas Cowboys are super interested in drafting Obi Melifonwu. I love Obi Melifonwu as a player. He is I would draft him if I was an NFL team. But Obi Melifonwu is definitely one of the better safeties on this board. Probably the third best. Now, not including Jabril Peppers because he is having problems now. He is not on my draft board in the first round at least. So he still could be a first rounder. But I'm selecting Obi Melifonwu for the Dallas Cowboys. Another player who slid so much, Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey will go to the Green Bay Packers. Christian McCaffrey is probably one of the better running backs in this class. What a great talent he is, and the Packers need another running back. So, Christian McCaffrey going to the Packers. Now, the Pittsburgh Steelers have a lot of options here. They have a lot of needs on the defensive side. They need another wide receiver, but they're definitely going defensive here. Most likely going defense here, unless they go with a quarterback. What? They're going with a quarterback. They're going to draft. Just kidding, no. They could draft DeShone Kizer here, but I'm going to say they get a replacement for Lawrence Timmons. They get Gerard Davis, and he should be a pretty big help for the Pittsburgh defense. The Atlanta Falcons swoop in here at number 31 overall, and they take T.J. Watt, J.J. Watt's brother. And T.J. Watt's a good player and all, but I think a lot of people are drafting him because his brother is J.J. Watt. Although T.J. Watt is great, I think his draft grade was boosted a bit because of his brother. But he still is an outstanding player. He could be a great talent in the NFL. Falcons select TJ Watt. And finally, at 32 overall, the New Orleans Saints need a lot of defensive help. But they select the best player left on the board. And that is tight end David Njoku. David Njoku. I don't know how you say it. But it is an awesome name. But that's not why they're drafting him. They're drafting him because he's a crazy talent. And, yeah, David Njoku, best player on the board. They need somebody else for Drew Brees to throw to. They just lost Cook. Cooks. Did I say Cook? Cooks. And, yeah, they need somebody else to throw to. So, David Njoku, definitely a great pick. So, this is my mock draft. It's not perfect. I know. Leave your hate in the comments down below. I know I didn't put Dalvin Cook in the first round. I know I didn't put Jabril Peppers. I think that was the only like 2 I missed out majorly. Kaiser I didn't put in the first round. All those could be first rounders. But that's gonna be my mock draft. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you slap that like button and subscribe. And I'll see you guys later.